Welcome to Arts News, friends. I'm Jimmy Ray here with you every Friday morning, 10 a.m. to talk about people, places, and things to do in the arts world of the Ozarks. This week, Matteson Gregory has a new EP out. We'll hear some music from that and talk with her, as well as part 2 of our collaboration series on The Life I Choose. That and more coming up on Arts News. Support for Arts News today is provided by Dressler Peters Business Law Firm, committed to promoting music and the arts in the Ozarks by supporting local public radio, including KSMU's weekly arts newsletter, The Green Room. Information at DresslerPeters.com. And support is also provided by Pickwick Underground Framing, offering custom picture framing and installation. Open weekdays 10 to 5:30 and Saturdays by appointment at 611 South Pickwick Avenue. Information at PickwickUndergroundFraming.com.
Watching him in his band. He's got long hair, tan skin. She's an Italian princess. Oh, living their teenage dream seems like a fantasy. Phoenix in the 90s. Late night, desert party, smoking with everybody. What a time to be alive. Cause we're happy while we're free, living life as we please. Not worried about what people say, cause they're gonna say it anyway. I let my vision breathe and let it come to me. Not worried about what people say, too busy being young and wild, so free.
I'm Jimmy Ray. You're listening to Arts News, and that was Matteson Gregory off her new EP that dropped today. And joining me in the Arts News studio, the one and only Matteson Gregory. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
So a new EP here, and you're going to be celebrating tomorrow night at MoonTown Sound with a show. Tell me, this is a 4-song EP. What's your glance here when it comes to the industry now? Is it a singles era? Is it an EP era? Is it a full album? Have you done it all? What's your decision-making process when it comes to actual releases?
Yeah, so I think when I first got started, it was very much they're like, oh, start with singles. Because especially when, it's like you're just starting out, you don't really have a fan base or anything. So they're like, just release singles and singles. And so I had gotten to a point where I had kind of released so many singles and I had changes in producers and stuff. And, I think kind of the songs off this record, I was working with two incredibly talented people. This one producer I met, James, and then another artist, her name's Bray, and we co-wrote and produced the album and stuff, or EP. And I don't know, I think there was something about it that just felt very much like the start of a new chapter, and I felt like all these songs kind of had like a story to tell, but like almost like a part of the same story. And so I kind of just made the decision. I'm like, you know what? I want to do a project. Like, I want to make these songs a part of a project because I feel like that's what it should be. And so, yeah, I kind of just told myself, I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Let's make the EP and go for it. Yeah.
Where'd you end up recording at?
So it was kind of crazy because Bray, she just like messaged me through Instagram. She was in my DM. She's like, hey, I love like some of your songs. Would you want to write sometime? So pretty much this whole EP wasn't even done really in a studio. It was me working with people over like Zoom and stuff, and which is kind of crazy. I think that really came about after like 2020 and stuff. But then I recorded all the vocals in my little home studio I have myself. So it was kind of a lot of like going back and forth through Zoom chats and like stuff like that and being like, no, I really like this, or like, oh, here's a song. Like I want the guitar to sound like this from this song or something like that, you know?
Excellent. Yeah. In this day and age, it's just so easy to collaborate.
It's so easy, which it's great because you can like literally meet someone like in New Zealand and like they become like your best friend or something.
Yeah.
And co-writer. So
when you say producers, does this mean they're coming up with the tracks, they're kind of instrumentals, or they're just, you're sending them a song and then they kind of put their spit on it and then they bring it back and you put a little more, let's try this, let's try that. Is it a back and forth a lot, or how does it work? How's the workload breakdown?
Yeah. So it really started out with me, like I'm very much pro like lyrics and stuff. I love storytelling and I love coming up with lyrics that really tell that, like portray an emotion and a feeling in a story. So it kind of started with me and Bray. She was my co-writer on this project. We would, have a few sessions, go back, go through everything. We would be like, okay, what kind of tempo do we think it could be? And then we would even like have like production notes, be like, ooh, it'd be kind of cool to add like this echo effect here. Let's do gang vocals here and stuff. So then once we were kind of done and we felt like it was in a good enough place where we're like, okay, we have a solid song structure. This is how we want the song to like lyrically be and melodically be. Now it's time to get James in here where he can kind of build off of these ideas that we have as far as production. So then he would kind of like take a spin at it and he'd be like, hey, let me know what you think. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, he's kind of like one of the first producers I've worked with where like the first thing he'll send me, I'm like, this is awesome. This is kind of exactly what I wanted. Yeah. So it's kind of cool when you find people that kind of get your vibe and your sound and know what they want. And so I'm very lucky that I've found those people that seem to get me and, get my sound and what I'm going
Where's
for.
James at?
They're both in New York, actually,
gotcha.
New York State. Yeah. So just kind of crazy. I met them both through, because I think it was Bray, she's like, yeah, you should meet my producer. He's James. He would love to hop on this project. So like we all got on like a group call and stuff, and just like the vibes were good, and we're like, hey, let's just go for it. I was like, I'm fine with it. Let's go.
Well, you mentioned kind of being drawn to the lyrical side of it. So where did that all start? How did that kind of come to be? Is it something where you've always liked reading, writing, poetry? Where did it all come from?
Yeah, so like, I mean, I always grew up, I mean, one, like surrounded by music and stuff. My dad was in lots of like rock bands growing up and even was a part of like a Motown band. And so, you know, I think I was always drawn to instruments around the house, and we would always do like karaoke parties, like sing ABBA and Grease, you know, good times. And so I think I always liked that aspect of it. But I did find myself like writing a lot of like poetry. But it wasn't until like my dad taught me the guitar at like 11 or 12. That's like when it kind of almost like the two, it clicked. I was like, oh, like I can take these words and I can put it to these chords, you know? And so that was kind of where it all started, was like as soon as I learned kind of how to play an instrument, that's, I think, kind of that poetry aspect kind of like shifted over to lyrics. Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. If you're just joining me, I have Matteson Gregory here in the Arts News studio, and a new EP dropping today. It's already out. You can look it up right now on all streaming platforms, I assume. And celebrating here in Springfield with a live performance at MoonTown Sound tomorrow, July 18th. That's down on the corner of Commercial and National. But a great new room, great new venue. Matt Baker and his crew over there has done a wonderful job with MoonTown, so it'll be a great spot to check out Matteson Gregory and these new tunes, as well as some past tunes, I assume. So you're going to have a band there with you. You do some solo stuff, but also a band there tomorrow night. What's it like to go from kind of in-the-box production, a lot of electronic stuff, you know, some acoustic stuff, but beats, effects, stuff like that, and translating that to a live band here in town? You know, you get one person producing and kind of creating and collaborating with you, but then you've got to kind of show the band and interpret it that way. Is that a challenge there, or is it fun? How does that work?
I mean, honestly, with my band, like they're just very, like, they're just all so creative and such talented musicians. Like I kind of just played them the track. And, you know, I think too, whenever you bring a song from production, and I think with any song, it's always going to sound a little different live because like you said, there's so many effects you can put on things now. So it's kind of like, it's not going to sound exact, but I think the biggest thing for me was that they kind of got the energy of the songs and like the feeling of the songs. And so, you know, I kind of just was like, here it is, like, let's try something. And then they would do something and I'd be like, wow, that's awesome. Like, that's cool. That's like what we need and stuff. So.
Are these cats that you knew already, or did you kind of have to seek them out, or kind of friends of friends? How did you piece it together?
So this band was founded. So like I put out like a Facebook post in like the music groups and stuff because I was like, hey, I need some people to play. And I had a few people reach out, and I had actually lots of bass and drummers because I was like, I'm just going to get guitar, bass, drums. Like, let's just start simple and we can always build from there.
Yeah.
And so I only had bass and drummers like reach out. So I was like, okay, well, like, don't really have a guitar player, but we'll find some. And so I had like kind of some auditions with the bass players and drummers where I just had them we just like kind of all got together and jammed. And so I kind of just picked what I felt was best and who kind of got the music.
Yeah.
And actually my dad is my guitar player.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
So, yeah. So he was like, he's like, well, like, would it be okay? I was like, yeah, you can play. It's okay. Like, so he provided.
He really wanted to.
Yeah. He's like, hey, is it okay? Like, he was there for the audition process. Like, he played guitar for the auditions just to help, get everybody together and stuff. And so at that point, I was like, yeah, like, go ahead. Like, let's do this.
Sure.
So,
And I bet that, you know, with him being involved with music over the decades and stuff, I'm sure he's been helpful over the process of you kind of getting into the music business, or at least maybe not having discovered things on your own so much, where it's like, watch out for this kind of thing or that kind of thing, or, you know, because there's so many ups and downs in show business. You know?
Yeah.
What are some of the challenges that you've faced, or some of the triumphs that you like to look back on so far?
I mean, I think as far as like challenges, I think one of the biggest things is, and this is like kind of advice like I would give to anybody who's like going on this journey or starting out, just really learn to like trust your gut when it comes to certain people. Cause like, I think that's the thing. It's like, I still get like spam emails. They're like, hey, we've got this record deal for you if you only pay $3,000. And I'm like, yeah, like, one, I don't have that cash.
Yeah.
Two, no, that's not how it works.
So many slick willies out there.
Oh yeah. And so like, I think that's like one of the biggest things, like kind of like I've had to learn, is to really trust my gut, and just, you know, especially when it comes to, you know, not only those things, but also like people you kind of work with and stuff. And, But I mean, I think like some of the bigger triumphs that have come from that is really kind of learning who I am as an artist. You know, the music I first started releasing is very different than what I'm doing now, but I feel more like myself now because I think I know, you know, I'm in a place where I know how I want my music to sound. You know, I think before it was like really trying to sound like everything you heard because you just thought that's what people wanted to hear.
Right.
And now
or that's what you're known to.
Yeah, and that's what you know. But now I'm like, oh, like I want it to sound like this. Like I know I want it to sound like this, or these are the inspirations and stuff like that. And I mean,
do you continue to play some of that older stuff? Is that still in your set? Or?
Yeah,
Okay.
I still continue to play some of the older things and that. So, but I think it's like definitely something that I think it's just cool to see, like, feel like, oh, wow, like I've really grown, or like I think it's just a different part of who I was and stuff. And I think that's just how life is. You look back and you're like, wow, like I'm not the same person I was like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
But,
do you get to pull, you pull in any cover stuff to fill up the sets? Who do you like to cover?
Yeah. Oh, I'm a huge, like I always say, I went down this like 90s music rabbit hole a few years ago. And that was something that kind of really inspired a lot of like my music and stuff. And so like I love like Alanis Morissette, I love the Cranberries, like you got Sheryl Crow, like a lot of those are things like I'll cover from time to time and stuff. And even like some Maroon 5, like off their first album, Songs About Jane.
Yeah.
I don't know, I kind of fell into like, I had that album on repeat like a few months ago. I'm like, this song was like, this album rocks. This is amazing.
It was a great era, man.
It was such a great era. So yeah.
So you've obviously wrapped this up. You're releasing this. Are you always looking ahead? What looking for touring, another record, keep writing? Where are you hoping to go here in the next year, 2 or 3?
I think like yes to everything you just said. I feel like I'm very like ambitious. But yeah, like definitely just to keep writing and keep getting better at like my craft. And one thing that I'm kind of working on, I recently watched the Lilith Fair documentary. It's on Hulu and stuff, and that just, I was like, man, like I didn't even know this existed, and it had so many female artists that I look up to. And so I had put out like a TikTok video a few months ago, and I was like, man, I think this would be too cool to do with some indie pop girls. And I've had like over like 20 girls like share interest and like fill out this form and stuff. So that's kind of one of my biggest goals, is to try to make something like that happen, where it's like a mini DIY tour with just like a lot of the artists like I've met, you know, especially female artists, and like give us a space to all support each other and just like
very cool.
You know, so those are kind of the big things like I really want to focus on. And yeah, I think just writing more and touring more and just growing, and I think hopefully inspiring some other people to want to do the same thing. So
excellent. Talking with Matteson Gregory here. Brand new EP dropped today. You can find it on all streaming platforms, and a live performance to celebrate this release tomorrow night, July 18th at MoonTown Sound. Doors at 8. Performance start around 9. And that's at the corner of National and Commercial Street. Where should folks be looking for you? I'm sure all the socials, everything, but website, give them a little bit of that direction.
Yeah, I mean, all socials. I'm pretty active like on TikTok, Instagram. You can do at Matteson Gregory for those, Facebook. But I do have a website that has like lists of all my shows, music, some videos, and merch as well. So
very good. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for dropping in, and we hope good things for you. Stay in touch for everything that comes in the future.
Yeah, I will do that. Thank you.
I'm Jimmy Ray, listening to Arts News. Here's another tune off Matteson Gregory's new EP. It's entitled 21 Ain't So Fun, right here on Arts News.
Hey, it's getting kinda late. Maybe we should call it a night. Girl, it's like 8:45. Just have one drink. Wanna get home at a decent time. And you say it never happens, and then it freaking happens. But it wasn't so fun being 21. Oh, I like to have my fun
I'm Jimmy Ray. You're listening to Arts News here on KSMU. And this week we continue our interview and story regarding a unique collaboration. Randy Bacon, local artist, photographer, filmmaker, and Maggie Rollwagen at Abilities First, an organization here in town that work with folks who have disabilities, and a collaboration that comes in form of an immersive exhibition at C Art Gallery down on C Street. It opened last weekend, will run through September 5th, featuring portraits, short films, and other media telling the stories, passions, fears, and joys for some of these folks in our community and their families and caretakers. We'll pick back up here with Maggie Rollwagen, the president and CEO of Abilities First. Let's talk just briefly about the Art Academy that you guys have started over there.
Yeah.
What does that offer the folks that you all are involved with? The different programs, the access, because, people, they can't discover what they are passionate about until they're presented that opportunity.
Right.
Randy, until presented the opportunity of a camera, didn't know that he liked to take photographs and was really good at it. Give us just some insight to what the Art Academy at Abilities First is doing.
Thank you for noting that. Just the simple note that without a camera, we can't really see the magic that you could do. And so this is creative classes for everyone. So making art's about more than making a masterpiece. It's about making friends and great strides and room for everyone. So they'll have singing, painting, performing, drawing. We just think arts make a big difference in our community. There's always going to be on our website an Art Academy calendar. One of my favorite things, I think we have 3 of these a year, is a theater performance we partner with Drury for. And what's really cool about that is that the educator and the class build and draft the play together.
Wow.
And so they, one season they had these twins that attended the class that were super obsessed with superheroes. They loved it. It was their thing. And so they were able to play those characters, incorporate that into the play, kind of turning it back around to the life I choose. We had a lady take a class and she wrote a song in one of our classes, and someone brought that song to me. She performed it in the theater performance, and someone was like, she wrote that. This is her original song. And we began thinking, like, what if we know Ethan separately is a friend of ours that is very talented on the piano and with vocals. And we just started thinking, what if we introduced those two together, and saw if they enjoyed playing together, and maybe that could become more complete.
Yeah.
And so that happened, and they ended up performing this song at our fundraiser, which is where your colleague,
Yes, Seamus McKenzie,
Yes.
brought this to my attention after he saw this performance. He was blown away by it.
Yes.
Let's play a clip from that performance right now, an original tune by Miriam Murphy, accompanied by Ethan Powell on piano, right here on Arts News, KSMU.
We're special, we're sacred, we're somebody's favorite. We can make this life our own. You and I, and all of our friends. We're kismet, we're fated. I think we can make it. We can make this new world our home. Everybody's got a spark, little glitter in their eye. Everybody's got a heart, something beautiful inside. Everybody's got a place, somewhere they are meant to be. Everybody's got a name, it's someone to somebody, and you're somebody. You're somebody to me.
I'm Jimmy Ray. You're listening to Arts News here on KSMU. That was the tune Somebody to Me, written and sang by Miriam Murphy, with Ethan Powell accompanying on piano as part of an Abilities First Arts Academy showcase. And joining me today in the Arts News studio, president of Abilities First, Maggie Rollwagen, as well as artist Randy Bacon. We're talking about their collaborative, immersive exhibition entitled The Life I Choose at the C Art Gallery in Springfield, Missouri. That's down on Commercial Street, 208 and 212 East Commercial Street to be exact. It's running through September 5th. And the gallery hours are Tuesday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's The Life I Choose, an immersive exhibition, a collection of portraits, short films, and other mediums featuring subjects with disabilities, as well as their families and caretakers. Let's hear some more from one of these short films that Randy Bacon has produced. We heard Ethan Powell on the piano earlier, accompanying Miriam Murphy on a song. Let's look closer at Ethan and his father, Travis, as part of this exhibition and a short film of The Life I Choose.
Do you have a dream?
I do have a dream. I get to have a concert and playing some songs for the people.
Prenatal, Ethan had the genetic markings for Fragile X, and it was very distressing for his mom and I. And we had a choice to make, and I could not imagine a life without Ethan. Like, we weren't scared. Like, we knew there was a possibility of something, but we knew that there was also a possibility for great love and beauty. And he went through his diagnostic testing, and autism spectrum disorder is what it was. And when people meet Ethan, they immediately sense his energy, and I really feel it's because he's not comparing himself to other people. Ethan has this beautiful ability just to be his authentic self wherever he's at, with whoever he's with, and it's beautiful. I think that one of the greatest things that I feel as a parent is always including Ethan, and not just including him just though he's there, but to get him to be able to participate with whatever we're doing, whatever the situation is. Because once you can move past that misconception where like they need to be separate from, you truly get to see the beauty of what it is to be with them. I would love to understand music the way that Ethan does. It's almost like he's tapped into the divine, and he has this special little one-way line that he's able just to tap in. And whenever he gets lost in his music, it's truly something else. It's as if the divine is sitting in the midst of that circle, right? And so for Ethan, whenever he's able to play music and he can communicate and connect with people, when if he was just sitting across the table, he might not be able to have that same powerful connection, but he's found something with music. It's life. It's his way to connect with other people around him. Ethan loves the Beatles, and the music of the Beatles has been a big part of our life for day one. There was a time when Ethan was asked to play at the venues, and he got up and he sang and played Imagine. And that dream and that vision that John had however many years ago is still that same dream we have now. And Ethan being able to share that, and I just got to know and trust in my heart, like he understands, he gets it, he knows what it's like, he's a dreamer. When Ethan was younger, as so many other kids, on the autism spectrum, as they're struggling to, as we all do, into finding ourselves, but it's just it's extra uncomfortable for them kind of coming in. And I'm sure there were days when he was, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, where he was just wanting to crawl out of his skin, and like he couldn't understand it. And sometimes it comes out with a yell or a tantrum of sorts. But it's hard, like whenever you see other people looking at you in public, whenever your kid is going through one of those situations, and as a parent, you're trying to just provide that safe space and nurture for them. But it's hard. It's difficult, especially in public at times, whenever we as the parent, like, we're just learning at the same time they're learning. Like, I didn't have a child with autism before. I didn't know how to do that. but it taught me to be patient and to be kind. And all I want to know is, are you kind? Like, we love music in our house. I love the Grateful Dead, and like one of my favorite lyrics is like, all I want to know is, are you kind? And it's so simple. Just be kind. Just be kind.
I'm Jimmy Ray. You're listening to Arts News. That was Travis Powell, the father of Ethan Powell. We heard Ethan playing some music, singing within that piece a little bit, learning more about this exhibition, The Life I Choose, a collaborative, immersive exhibition with Randy Bacon and Abilities First, focusing on subjects with disabilities and their families and caretakers. This exhibition runs through September 5th at the C Art Gallery down on Commercial Street. That's 208 and 212 East Commercial Street. Joining me in the Arts News studio today, Randy Bacon, artist and president of Abilities First, Maggie Rollwagen. Before we go, Maggie, I was just curious, as you see participants engaging in the arts and even collaborating, as we heard earlier, what do you see in their eyes? What do you see coming from their hearts? What do you see in their demeanor? How is it affecting their life?
I think just the exact same way it affects our lives. I see your guitar on the wall, and I'm an amateur musician myself. And when I play and sing, whether I write a song, and I'm mostly in the privacy of my own home, something happens to my body, to my spirit, to my affect, and my very being. And most of the time, it's a wonderful, good, calm feeling. And I can't draw or paint. I'm very poor in those areas of arts, but in the area of music, I can relate when I see the pride and the calm and the sense of accomplishment. I see all the same things in the folks that we serve with the lived experience as I see in the people we serve and those of us that do not have that lived experience of an intellectual or developmental disability. It's the same thing. So that's why facilitating that opportunity for them is so important, because think of your life without the opportunity of music, or to express yourself, a frustration, a great love, a great loss through writing, or the breath work you do when you have to time out the phrases you sing in a song. That's regulating our nervous system, and we don't even know it, but it feels good. So my answer is exactly the same thing as you or I. That's what I see. You see the joy, the pain, the struggle to learn, the sense of accomplishment, every human emotion that anyone without that lived experience feels in those moments of artistic expression. That's what we see.
Yeah. Very good. Breaking down walls, lifting each other up. It's Abilities First, Maggie Rollwagen and Randy Bacon. A great collaboration here. The Life I Choose, an immersive exhibition through September 5th at the C Art Gallery. Maggie, let's give them the website one more time for Abilities First.
www.abilitiesfirst.net.
And of course, randybacon.com for everything else. Thank you for bringing this to our community. Thank you for your continued work on both sides. Always great to talk with you, Randy. Great to meet you, Maggie. And I wish the best for both of you. And thanks for stopping in. And if anything else comes down the line, let's talk again soon.
Yes. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
I'm Jimmy Ray. You're listening to Arts News here on KSMU. I'm Jimmy Ray. You're listening to Arts News here on KSMU and in downtown Springfield tonight at the Regency, Dawes, with special guest Guinevere Goodwin. KSMU caught up with the band ahead of their show tonight. Here is friend and colleague Jess Balisle.
Thanks, Jimmy. I had the opportunity to catch up with Taylor Goldsmith of Dawes on the phone last week. Here's our conversation. I'm going to start with maybe a weird question, because I know you don't have a lot of time when you're on tour, but what are you excited to see or do in the Ozarks?
Honestly, I don't know. I like to kind of just get lost. Like right now, recently I've been, like with tour, there's a lot of waiting around till sound check. So there's,
right.
Like everybody kind of tries to figure out some kind of workout, and I've been trying to get more into running because I feel like that's a nice new way to get to know an area, a neighborhood, a locale.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Excellent.
And then also, I always love, just kind of wandering around, finding a bookstore, finding a coffee shop. I care less personally about like what is like the touristy thing that people do when they come to a place, and what is the more like inner workings of a community.
So I've got some questions of my own, but I also have some questions from Joe Livingston, our host of The Roundabout here, who set this up for us. You've got the Brothers Robinson of the Black Crowes, the Davies Brothers of the Kinks, Gallagher Brothers of Oasis, and all of these brothers are known for fierce and sometimes even bloody sibling rivalry. Now, either you or Griffin are really good at hiding fights, or you're pretty well adjusted. Give us some insight into that relationship.
I mean, I think we try to put fires out immediately. Whenever we can sense that there's something in the air, we'll just kind of step to the side and address it. It's never easy, and it's always, one of us is always reluctant and the other one kind of forces it. But it just, once we are able to clear the air like that, we're able to kind of put it out. Also, now like we're the members, so now it's like it's our partnership. There's no other like voting presence to like to form an alliance with. And
Right.
Sometimes I feel like that can be a part of the strange dynamics, is that like people group up against each other, whereas now it's this 50-50 operation. And also I feel like some of those dynamics are representative of like a bygone era in rock and roll. I mean, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's definitely less sexy, but now it's like, instead of people talking about what bands suck and what drug binge they were on, it's like they talk about their like health regimen and like their kids and
Yeah.
I feel like whether it's social media or just evolution, it just feels like the curtain pulled back and we're forced to reckon with our writers, our actors, or whatever, as who they really are. And so like there's less of a performative aspect that, like, I don't mean to come at greats like the Gallaghers or the Robinson brothers or Ray Davies and his brother, but I
Sure.
do feel like there was something that was like, it was almost this responsibility to churn that up that I just don't know if it's felt anymore.
Yeah. Joe also wanted to ask you this question because he has a couple of kids. They're in bands together, and it's really cool that these two brothers are playing in bands. What's the best part of touring with your brother?
Oh, I think that you always have a piece of home with you. You always are sharing this experience through someone that shares your perspective. And that's in your foundation, and that we get a lot of mileage out of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think it makes the loyalty non-negotiable.
Yeah.
Like when if you're having a bad time with some guys that you've only known for the last 3 years that might not have the same values or agenda, it would probably be a lot easier to be like, oh, let's just call it.
Yeah, so much easier to throw away.
We lost our gang member connection.
Yeah.
And whereas that's not happening when you're brothers. It's just like that's never going away.
Right.
So it's sort of like we're always going to make it work, whatever that means.
So with you doing a lot more duo shows now and things like that, is it making you think of your songs differently? Like, have you come across any challenges stripping those back and reimagining them?
Absolutely. Yeah, we're playing like it requires such a different approach. It highlights different strengths in the material.
Uh-huh.
It forces us to lean on different strengths and skill sets. Like all of a sudden, I'm not just a guitar player. I'm also the bass player. And so we have to make a bigger picture out of less. And I like it a lot. I think it like some songs that are mainstays in the normal set, we don't play in this regard, and then other songs that we never get around to fit great. So like it feels like it's nice that it feels like a different corner of our voices, of our identity.
Yeah.
So I really like it for that. And yeah, it's harder, but it's more raw, and like therefore in a way, like I wouldn't say it's more rewarding. But it's definitely like when we've done a bunch of headline shows in a row, and then we get a chance to do some duo sets or even just some duo songs within a bigger set. It's just nice to be able to have another flavor, because it's, even for us, like most bands, like before we started doing this, it was like, here's the band, it's what we sound like. And now that we can, like, okay, here's what we sound like when I'm by myself. Here's what we sound like as a duo. Here's what we sound like as a quartet. Here's what we sound like as a quintet. I just feel like that does something to the night and to the material that we're really enjoying, and I hope the audience is too.
Yeah. Does it make you feel more vulnerable when you play that way?
Yeah, there's nothing to hide behind. I mean, like when I'm
Sure.
I'm up there with everybody, and I'm gonna just focus on singing and know that our keyboard player he's holding down the foundation of it. Like I can depend on that. Whereas if it's and I can let my hands go for a second. But yeah, not when it's just me and Griffin. There's a lot to focus on, and everything has to be a little bit more precise in a way. There's nothing to hide behind.
Yeah. So here in the Ozarks, a lot of us put our home into our music and art. We sing about the area, we sing about the people here. And you do the same with Los Angeles. What do you think compels us as humans to create and sing about home?
I think that every community or like town or neighborhood or whatever has a sort of ineffable quality to it that you can't really put into words, but that you can recognize when someone's evoking it. Mm-hmm. Like when Bruce Springsteen screams New Jersey, I get a feeling.
Oh, yeah.
I'm certain I don't share his relationship with New Jersey or have anywhere remotely close to his understanding of what that town means to him.
Yeah, but you
because
feel
I'm
it.
witnessing him express it meaning something to him, then all of a sudden I'm moved. And I think, like, it's fun. Like, even though I said it's ineffable, I feel like it's fun to talk about. Like, I have all sorts of theories about LA, and why it is the way it is, and like what it means to me, and why it's beautiful and complicated. And I'm sure you would say the same thing about your neighborhood and city.
Of course.
And so, like, I think I love that. I love getting to play around with that.
Yeah.
And I was born here. I'm not a transplant like most people are here. So, like, it's also all I know. So when there's a pride in that. Like when I hear the right LA song, someone that really gets it, like Desperados Under the Eaves by Warren Zevon or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, yes, this is the message. This is nailing it. And for someone else in LA, they might be like, no, that's not it. But it is for me. And so, like, I like playing around with that. And I like being on the other end of it. I like I said, I like hearing Bruce sing about New Jersey. I like hearing Willie sing about Texas. There's a thrill.
Yeah. Side note, you made me just think of this. Talking about those different performers in LA who have been there as long as you have. The Haim sisters. How do you feel about Summer Girl as an LA song?
I know them. And I love running into them. They're very nice, but I don't know their music very well. I don't know that song.
Okay, that's your homework. Go listen to that and see what kind of LA vision that invokes for you. It's one of my faves. Okay, so one of my bandmates tells me that the line, "You can judge the whole world on the sparkle that you think it lacks. You can stare into the abyss, but it's staring right back." That line ranks among the best lyrics ever written in rock music. Why is he right? And what would you like to say to him directly?
That's very generous and kind. That song was. I don't want to diminish his relationship to the song, and I hope I don't. But that song was like, I tend to be a pretty direct writer, or not a literal writer, but just someone that I have an agenda. Like it's like, oh, this is what the song is going to be about, and I'm going to write it accordingly. Mm-hmm. And When My Time Comes was not that at all. It was like I had this chorus that was evocative in some way. I didn't know how, but it felt right to sing. And then I had to write verses around it that just felt true to itself, if nothing beyond that. So, like, I don't know, like, I just kind of wrote those words as they came along. I'm sure a lot of it had to do with what I was reading at the time. and because that's typically the case, and that one feels a little more existential.
Yeah, the sparkle that you think it lacks is, I mean, I feel like every person could come up with a different image of what they think that means.
Yeah. And what it means on it, like even from like moment to moment.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, it is a very good line. Brett Miller is not wrong.
Well, thank you.
So what is the wildest thing that has ever happened to you during a show?
I mean, I've had my fly down a few times on accident.
That's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, it was a drag for sure. It wasn't. I had underwear on, but still, you know, there's something just. It's like, even if your zipper's down, there's just something that's inherently embarrassing about if your zipper's down and you didn't, you know, no one's seen anything, but it's not cool.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, other than that, nothing too crazy. Never smashed a guitar, never crowd surfed. It would be probably a little out of character for our music. I've never, like, once when in my younger band, my buddy Blake Mills dumped a water bottle on me, and I was pretty pissed about it. He probably was embodying the rock and roll spirit better than I was at the time. The thing that I like doing recently that's been pretty wild, much to the rest of the bandmates' chagrin, is I've been inviting people up to play our songs at random, just like asking people to raise their hands if they knew how to play a guitar or a bass or drums, and whoever raises their hand, they get to come up. And we have a few songs that don't really have chord changes. It's kind of the same riff the whole time.
Yeah.
And so, kind of in the heat of the moment, I say play that note, and that note, and if you just keep doing that over and over again, that'll be the whole song. And so I kind of teach them on the spot, and it often sounds pretty ramshackle.
Sure. But what a special moment!
It's really fun. And then, like, so I have this fan band, we call it, and it's not just like one person to come play guitar; it's the whole band, and it's a pretty thrilling moment every night.
Any chance you'll do that in Springfield?
If there was a show that we can do it at, it would be that one, because this next run we're going on, there's not many headlining sets.
Excellent. Well, thanks for your time today, Taylor. We are really looking forward to seeing you and Griffin in Springfield.
Thank you so much. This was really fun.
Dawes will be at the Regency tonight, Friday, July 17th, with Guinevere Goodwin. You can get tickets through the band's website or at theregencylive.com. For KSMU Arts News, I'm Jess Balisle.